voucher and sign for the lunch. And he told me, in the Luya culture, they never allow a woman, and especially a beautiful woman, to pamper a man.
He talked to me last, telling me that I should inform other members that he's unwell admitted in Aga Khan Kisumu, of which I did. So within a short time, I learned that he has passed on.
The date of burial for the late Matungu legislator will be announced later. For Hope TV News Watch, I'm Alice Diana.
Moving on, the government has launched an investigation following an expose by one of the international media houses, BBC, revealing cases of child trafficking in Nairobi. Labour and Social Protection Cabinet Secretary Simon Chelugui, while responding to the expose, has condemned the alleged stealing and sale of babies in Nairobi and in any other part of the country, saying the move is unacceptable. Already a team of officers from relevant government agencies has been constituted to expeditiously investigate the allegations spelled out in the expose and ensure necessary action is taken.
Thank you. Our press statement was on BBC Africa Eye investigative documentary, which is on baby stealers of Nairobi. That is how it was headed. One of the key mandates of the Ministry of Labour and Social Protection is child protection. The attention of government has been drawn to reportage about the safety of children in our country, and we wish to condemn in the strongest terms possible the alleged stealing and sale of babies in Nairobi and in any other part of our country. This is unacceptable, and the government will deal with it very decisively. I warn those who are stealing or are selling children that they will be met with the full force of the law. And likewise, I'm warning those who are buying such children that they are equally guilty, and this is a criminal offense. Kenya takes pride in its protection of children, for they are our heritage, our assurance of tomorrow. As a nation, we take the issue of child protection very seriously, a position that is reflected by our being signatory to several international conventions and protocols that protect the rights and welfare of our children. This includes the United Nations Convention on Rights of the Child, United Nations Protocol to prevent and suppress and punish trafficking in persons, especially women and children, that is Polaramo Protocol, the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of Children. The Office of the DPP and the Judiciary have made progress in establishing children's courts to handle children issues. And all these are meant to enhance the issue of child protection. In this bill of Children's Act 2020, we have also considered African Charter. We have also considered the legal age for a child to answer criminal cases. We have elevated the Department of Children to a directorate by appointment of a Secretary to Children Services.
Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko has vowed not to release money to the Nairobi Metropolitan Service, NMS, until a clear law is formulated, a move that could paralyze NMS operations. NMS, which is a national government agency under the Executive Office of the President, has been accusing Governor Sonko of frustrating the implementation of the 4 key services surrendered to the national government by constantly placing hurdles in every step. Sonko and Major General Mohammed Badi, who heads the NMS, have been engaged in a supremacy war over finances. Sonko was speaking when he appeared before the Senate Committee on Health, chaired by Trans Nzoia Senator Michael Mbito, to discuss outstanding issues between the county government and the Nairobi Metropolitan Services in the transfer of health functions while NMS Director for Health Services Dr. Josephine Bai told the committee that monies meant to benefit level 2 and 3 hospitals are still held by the county, and the signatories to the account have not been changed to officers of NMS mandated to execute the health function. Kenya has joined the rest of the world in marking the World Prematurity Day that is celebrated every 17th of November. The event to mark the day was celebrated at the Mama Lucy Kibaki Hospital in Nairobi, where Health CAS Dr. Mercy Mwangangi said the government is putting in place interventions that will ensure the preservation and survival of preterm children. Over 15 million babies are born too soon every year, and more than 1 in 10 babies are born preterm, affecting families all around the world. As Mark Kimondo tells us, stakeholders in the health sector are calling for more government intervention and development of guidelines for healthcare workers on management of newborns at health centers and dispensaries.
According to the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, Kenya is considered to be one of the leading countries with high numbers of preterm babies across the world, and is placed at position 15 globally, with the highest number of premature children out of 188 countries. Preterm babies are babies born alive before 37 weeks of pregnancy are complete. It is estimated that about 134,500 babies are born preterm in Kenya every year. Most of these preterm babies are born with health complications that lead to the death of at least 8,300 babies annually. Speaking during the celebration of the World Prematurity Day in Mama Lucy Referral Hospital in Nairobi, Health CAS Dr. Mercy Mwangangi said that the government is planning to put some interventions to reduce the fatality rate of preterm babies. Despite technologies and medical procedures in the world increasing over years, preterm babies still carry a huge vulnerability to develop cerebral palsy, delays in development, hearing and sight problems.
Kuna mikakati mbalimbali ambayo tumeweza kuangamiza hii maneno ya preterm babies. Tukiangalia Wizara ya Afya, there are a few interventions that we've put in place there. One of them is this intervention today, launching the guidelines on the use of chlorhexidine. I've seen other interventions that look at trying to ensure that we know which babies are born in preterms. We've been able to take that data and we are using it to inform our decision making.
Although some families get overwhelmed when a mother delivers a preterm baby, the actions afterwards can determine the life or death of the child. Using low-cost interventions such as the kangaroo mother care increases the survival rates of preterm children.
So kangaroo mother care is, just like the word suggests, the animal kangaroo puts the babies inside its pouch, and that's what you're trying to do for human beings. The reason being is when you do that for human beings, especially for those babies who are born prematurely, then they end up getting warmth from the mother. They end up getting attention, care, love and support while they are very closely tied to their mother.
This is Mama Lucy Referral Hospital Kangaroo Unit. Meet Alice Nungari with her little baby boy well covered on the chest of her mother. Nungari says that initially she found it hard to come to terms with the condition of her newborn.
For the kangaroo thing, because it was a very hard task to wake up every morning, at night, from the ward to the nursery room. So, yeah, every now and then, mara unaamka, unashikwa na usingizi. You have to feed this kid, and at the same time, it's very hard to easy stay sit afadhali, and at least at long last you have your baby. Nothing feels good like having your kid around.
Nilikuwa mimba ya miezi 6, kaletwa kwa Mama Lucy. Sasa mtoto ako sawa, nilimzaa na 900 grams, sasa amefikisha 20 grams.
She, however, thanks Mama Lucy Referral Hospital for the idea that has seen many preterm children survive. The likes of Mercy Mukami, who gave birth to a preterm baby, has a reason to smile now that there is hope for their children's survival.
Kangaroo ilinisaidia kulea watoto wangu kwa sababu niliwazaa na kilo ya chini sana, na sasa wameimprove sana. Huyu nilipomzaa alikuwa na kilo 1, huyu mwingine alikuwa na kilo 1.5. Lakini huyu aliteremka mpaka gramu 700 na akateremka mpaka kilo 1 na gramu 200.
Kitu naweza encourage wazazi wenzangu, hata watoto wakizaliwa kama wako premature wasiogope, maana kangaroo ndio kila kitu. Watotolea mtoto wako unakuwa na hope, pia mtoto atakuja atagrow na atakuwa sawa. Juu saizi hawa kusema kweli wametoka mbali na kiwaangalia hata siamini kama ni hao.
Even as the Ministry of Health does its best to bring down the growing number of preterm births, it attributes these births to factors such as high blood pressure and multiple pregnancies. Preterm birth complications were responsible for nearly 1 million deaths in 2015. However, women can also play a key role in the reduction by seeking antenatal care when approaching due date as recommended by the Ministry of Health.
With more than 2,000 babies born prematurely since we started the unit. Otherwise, we have been able to help them where we can.
Mark Kimondo for Hope TV, Nairobi.
Let's look at the COVID-19 situation in the country. Now, Kenya has recorded 925 new coronavirus cases after testing a sample size of 5,559 over the last 24 hours. This brings the total number of infections in the country to 71,729. Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe in a statement said 893 of the new cases were Kenyans, while 32 were foreigners, with the youngest being a 5-month-old baby, while the oldest is 92 years. The Ministry of Health has also announced 1,018 new recoveries in the last 24 hours, with 850 coming from the home-based care program, while 168 were discharged from the various health facilities. The total number of recoveries now stand at 47,262. 15 more fatalities have also been recorded, bringing the cumulative number of deaths resulting from the pandemic to 1,302. Now, in terms of county distribution, the top 10 counties in today's cases are Nairobi, that leads with 358 cases, followed by Kiambu with 102, Mombasa 59, Nakuru 39, Nyeri 39, Machakos 32, Busia 32, Kisumu 29, Kilifi 28, and Kajiado County 25. A somber mood has engulfed Oyugi Ogango Girls Secondary School in Migori County after the loss of its principal, Martha Ouma. Martha died on Tuesday morning at a Kisumu hospital while undergoing treatment, with officials dispelling rumors she might have succumbed to COVID-19. Candidates at the school in Rongo Sub-County and villagers mourned the death of their principal, with Migori County Education Officer Elizabeth Otieno saying the deceased was unwell for long. Meanwhile, amid increased cases of COVID-19 in learning institutions, the Health Ministry said it's closely monitoring the situation, including reports indicating that a learner at a school in Kakamega County had succumbed to the virus. The Teachers Service Commission, TSC, has already directed teachers aged 58 and above to work from home and to avoid contracting the deadly virus. All right, with that story, let's now take a short commercial break on Newswatch, still having more coming in after this break.
Welcome to Rafiki Gardens along Kangondo Road by Optiven. This is an ideal and affordable piece of investment that is strategically placed within the Nairobi metropolis. Rafiki Gardens is close to key social amenities like schools, banks, and shopping malls. This project comes with ready title deeds, Maram roads, and a marking fence round the property. Get a plot at only 695,000 Kenya shillings cash price. You can also pay a 50% deposit and pay the rest in 6 months installments. Call us today on 0702 8310 83 or visit www.optiven.co.ke.
Welcome to Activate.
It's a good morning.
Kickstart your day with George and Kerry on the Sweet Hour of Prayer.
And welcome to Activate, this being the station where you listen and live Hope FM.
From Nairobi to the world.
Great music just for you.
Activate.
The only show that keeps you activated.
Yes, indeed.
Activate every weekday morning from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. only on Hope FM, where you listen and live.
Welcome back to News Watch. The World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom has expressed concerns on the surge in the number of COVID-19 cases in many countries, particularly in Europe, where he said healthcare workers and health systems are being pushed to the breaking point. Currently, WHO has 150 emergency medical teams assisting countries in the planning and implementation of their emergency responses. This even as global hopes of overcoming the coronavirus pandemic received a boost after a second candidate vaccine was found to be nearly 95% effective in an ongoing trial. The news from the US biotech firm Moderna brought much needed optimism to a world facing surging infections and grueling new restrictions.
This is not the time for complacency. While we continue to receive encouraging news about COVID-19 vaccines and remain cautiously optimistic about the potential for new tools to start to arrive in the coming months, right now, we're extremely concerned by the surging cases we're seeing in some countries, particularly in Europe and the Americas.
In the interim analyses, it appears that the vaccine has a protective efficacy of over 90%. It's about 94%. Of course, we need to wait and see what the final efficacy and the safety profile of this vaccine will be when the whole data is analyzed after they reach their primary endpoint and also have enough follow-up of at least 2 months of half the trial participants for the side effects. And that will then be submitted to the regulatory agencies.
To the counties now, the National Council for Population and Development, NCPD, has called on Nyandarua County residents to invest more in youths as a way of reducing its high dependency ratio. According to NCPD, investing in the age groups between 18 and 34 will ensure they quickly harness the demographic dividend. A Central Regional Population Coordinator, Irene Kitur, underscored the need for quality life for all Kenyans and called on stakeholders to pool resources to boost the working population aged between 15 and 64 and also empower them in governance, economic well-being and education.
The goal of this policy is to attain high quality of life for the people of Kenya. It's basically discussing management of population issues. And the population issues are also cross-cutting. It covers issues on education, health, women empowerment, issues of gender-based violence, issues of youth empowerment, issues of gender equity and equality, among others.
Our population in Nyandarua, we have a very large youth bulge. The people between ages 15 to 24 and those who are between 18 to 34, it's a very huge population, and we really need to see how we can be able to invest in these young people so that we can be able to achieve our demographic dividend.
We are revising the sessional paper number 3 on population, on policy on population for national development. That was ratified by Parliament in 2012. So today our aim here was to get the views of the public. What is it they want put in the next population policy? As you're all aware, public participation is key in policy development. So today we wanted to get the views of Wajiko. What are the critical issues on population in Nyandarua?
Nandi Governor Stephen Sang has warned that he will not allow the BBI brigade to kick off the signature collection exercise in Nandi County, saying the country currently needs development and economic recovery projects and not the BBI. The governor has instead asked the national government to use the resources allocated for the exercise in fighting the rising numbers of COVID-19 in the country. Governor Sang was speaking when he condoled with the family of the late Evelyn Menjo, who was the founder of Rosev Education Center at Kipsigak, where he led residents on a fundraiser towards offsetting medical expenses.
It is unfortunate that the nation is leaving its people to their own vagaries while spending untold amount of resources to campaign for a document that they are telling us it will help Kenya, yet we have a nation that needs to be helped right now from the corona pandemic. And I want to say in Nandi County, we will not agree and will not accept those signatures. Mtu asikuja kujaribu kutafuta signatures hapa. Kuna mtu atapeana signature katika kaunti yetu ya Nandi. Kwenda tafutia mahali ingine. Ile kitu tunataka hapa ni kusaidia wananchi kuhakikisha ya kwamba ile shida wamepata kupitia kwa coronavirus na majanga mengine tumesaidia hiyo. Mambo ya kutafuta prime minister na deputy watafute, hakuna mtu anataka prime minister Nandi hii. Let us reorganize our priorities as a nation so that we spend the billions of money we are threatening to spend on signatures and BBI and referendum. Let us put into supporting the health sector.
The National Museums of Kenya Director General Dr. Mzalendo Kibunjia has warned that heritage sites are at risk following coastal flooding and erosion due to rise in sea levels. He has said that extreme tidal waves caused by a warming planet are putting iconic and historical sites along the shoreline at great risk. While opening a 2-week disaster risk training workshop in Mombasa, Kibunjia said climate change remains to be the biggest threat to natural World Heritage sites across the world. His office is now seeking funds from the National Treasury and partners interested in the conservation and preservation of historical monuments in rehabilitating heritage sites in the country.
This problem that you see in Fort Jesus is not only here, but it also extends on other sites in the Kenyan coast. Particularly, I can say Siu Fort in Lamu site, Jumba la Mtwana in Kilifi County, Shimoni in Kwale County, and many others at the coast. So what we have decided in collaboration with the International Council of Restoration of Monuments, which is an international organization based in Rome, we've been able to get funding to train our staff on how to prepare for disaster. How do you protect these sites? What is the first aid that you do when you have a disaster, either as a result of floods or as a result of rising sea levels at the coast? And after we train our staff for a week, next week we will be training communities. These are people living around these sites, and as I said, about 7-8 of them along the coast, because we want them to be able to know and to protect these sites, not only for the tourism and culture tourism of the coast, but also for the country. As you know, that is the mainstay for most of the people in the coast.
The Inspector General of Police, Hilary Mutyambai, has released a brand new police vehicle to JOMVU constituency in Mombasa County following a presidential order. Mutyambai released the vehicle to JOMVU Member of Parliament Badi Twalib and JOMVU Sub-County Police Commander Alfred Ndhiga in Nairobi, with emphasis on rallying the call for a community policing approach. A JOMVU MP thanked the IG for his efforts in enhancing access to police services to his constituents and urged communities to embrace a working relationship with the police to improve service delivery to the people.
Nataka toa shukurani kwa Mheshimiwa Rais wa Kenya, Mheshimiwa Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, kwa sababu hii shughuli ya siku hii ya leo imefanyika kulingana na amri yake ambayo aliweza kumweleza IG. Vile vile nataka kutoa shukurani nyingi sana kwa rafiki yangu Inspector General ndugu Mutyambai kwa kuona kuwa historia ile ambayo imetufikisha siku ya leo ni kwa kuwa Mheshimiwa Rais alikuja katika constituency yangu na kulingana na hali ya usalama nikaomba nipewe gari ya kushughulika katika zile police posts ambazo najenga kule kwangu, na aliweza kutoa maamrisho hayo kusema Inspector General afanye bidii ili hiyo gari wananchi wa Jomvu tuweze kupata. Kwa hivyo siku hii ya leo, siku ya Jumanne, ahadi ambayo tulikuwa tumepewa kupitia kwa Mheshimiwa Rais na juhudi ya Inspector General tumetimiza, kwa sababu leo tumekuja rasmi ili hiyo gari tuweze kukabidhiwa, tuweze kupeleka Jomvu, wananchi wa Jomvu wawe wanaweza kuhudumiwa katika masuala ya usalama bila shida yoyote.
The National Police Service encourages working closely with the communities through community policing, and through this partnership we appreciate what most of the Kenyans have done in the field with our officers of the National Police Service. And more so, from what you have heard from Mheshimiwa, the community in Jomvu has now built 3 police stations. That is true testimony on a working community policing concept, where the members of communities, they are taking on their own initiative to support the National Police Service. Where the community requires support from the National Police Service, definitely we are ready to do at all levels to manage and support the community on the ground. And a very good example is today that we have managed to procure a vehicle which was a security gap in Jomvu, and today we officially hand it over to our OSPD, or sub-county commander, Jomvu, so that he can enhance security in his area of operation.
Meru Governor Kiraitu Murungi has now suspended operations of the county offices after several staff members tested positive for COVID-19. While giving a briefing, the governor said the suspension will be effective from 17th of this month to December 7th, 2020. According to the governor, the county has 619 confirmed coronavirus cases, with 424 being male, while 369 are female. The governor has also announced a raft of measures across the county to curb the spread of the virus.
Yesterday, we decided to go back to our old protocols, and we're encouraging our people, please, let's go back to them. We have said there will be no eating in the funerals, because you are arriving in the funerals wearing masks, but when you are given food, you remove the masks. Then you start talking to each other, and that is where the spread comes. So it's not that we don't want you to eat. You know, Meru people have food. But for now, for next 60 days, please, no eating in the funerals. We see whether we can bring these figures down. Then wearing a mask has been made compulsory now for everybody. The police, the county commissioner set up a new enforcement team. If you are found not wearing a mask, the fine is 20,000 Kenya shillings. And it's being enforced seriously. Those who have been drinking in bars, crossing themselves inside, we have decided just to close those bars and deprive them of licenses.
Looking at what is happening internationally, Peru is set to swear in Peruvian lawmaker Francisco Sagasti as interim president after being voted for by Congress in a bid to help calm anger on the streets amid deadly protests. Sagasti will be Peru's third president in a week after interim leader Manuel Merino resigned on Sunday, 5 days after being sworn in following the ousting of centrist Martin Vizcarra. Sagasti, a legislator from the centrist Purple Party, will be sworn in to fulfill a government mandate until July next year, which would include holding a new presidential election scheduled for April 11th. Sagasti's appointment appeared to calm tensions, though a deep mistrust of the country's politicians remains. And on Monday night, hundreds of people marched in the capital Lima with calls for a new constitution and justice for the fallen. All right, News Watch takes another short break. We'll be back with business and sports news. Stay tuned.
Join John Cousin every weekday as he takes us on a journey through the Bible.
Whoever shall seek to save his life, if you go back to living for yourself, you're going to lose it. But whoever shall lose his life, give up his life for my sake, he shall preserve it.
Enjoy interesting, knowledge-packed, yet simple teachings through his humor and in-depth understanding of God's Word.
The last people that tried to put God in a box, literally, he rose again. He wouldn't stay in their compartment. If God was small enough for me to figure out, he wouldn't be big enough for me to worship.
Tune in to Hope TV for John Cousin every 10 p.m., 4 a.m., and 10 a.m. weekdays on Hope TV, where you look and live.
Only God can turn a mess into a message.
I have a boy on a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I'm still preaching on the pulpit.
Amen.
Niliona mguu ya nyuma inakuja tu kunikanyaga, imenilenga tu kwa tumbo. Nikaitana tu Jesus.
I got tired of working with the x-ray papers, and one day I just woke up and decided to burn them.
A test into a testimony.
The whole community didn't want to hear that anybody is born again. Excommunicated, straight.
Bila Yesu hakuna njia.
Join Sharon Naitore Wangenye on Testify.
Katika hiyo harakati hiyo spirit ikakemewa, mimi nimeona Yesu Kristo namna hii. Kwa msalaba. Opa. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Every Thursday at 8 p.m. for a moment to grow your faith some more.
Welcome back. Carrefour Kenya has launched a donation drive to support care homes in the Nairobi County. The initiative has seen Carrefour Kenya employees voluntarily donate over 1.2 million shillings, with Majid Al-Fatime matching their contribution with an additional 1.2 million shillings. The combined 2.4 million shillings is being used to buy and distribute essential food and non-food items to serve to 7 elderly homes to assist and improve their livelihoods during the global pandemic. These homes are residence to over 2,600 elderly persons, most of whom have no family or relatives.
These people have been forgotten for quite a long time, and we thank you, Carrefour, for partnering with us and showing love to the elderly people. We are located in Nebaka Central, and due to this coronavirus, we are not able to gather where we normally used to. But we thank you so much for this donation. It will go a long way helping the elderly people, and especially again for the adult diapers. We are really suffering getting the adult diapers. They need food and they need special care, especially this time of corona.
At the end of March, when we had to stop our daycare program, I tell you, I wept when I saw the 300 elderly people we look after. They were weak, they couldn't stand, so we got permission from the chiefs and all the administration, and we started feeding them. And in 2 weeks, they were different. But what I want to say is it's thanks to Carrefour and other wonderful groups in Kenya and the ordinary local people who have nothing themselves. They gave something, and these people are alive today.
Today we would like to announce our donation initiatives that aim at supporting the elderly in the midst of the current pandemic. Thanks to the generous voluntary contribution of Carrefour employees, who donate 1.2 million Kenyan shilling to this cause, and with the support of Carrefour Kenya, who add an equal amount to the employee contribution. Today, the total of contribution is 2.4 million Kenyan shilling. We are pleased to be part of this initiative, and our hope is that this donation will go a long way and in actively improving the protection of the elder and supporting the work of the people who are caring for them. I just want really to thank you for all what you are doing, because it's amazing. It's amazing support for those people.
Residents of Athangani village in Tharaka Ward and Kasiluni village in Gomeni Ward, Mwingi North, Kitui County, have a reason to smile after the Communications Authority of Kenya and local mobile operators Airtel, Safaricom and Telcom Kenya through the Universal Service Fund connected the areas with communication services by installation of new network masts. Accompanied by CIA Director General Mercy Wanjau, the Senate Standing Committee on ICT, led by Vice Chairperson Senator Abshiro Halake, made an inspection tour of the said areas on invitation by Kitui Senator Enoch Wambua, where it was revealed that the administrative functions of state officers in the three areas had been hampered by lack of poor network coverage, leading to increased incidents of insecurity and slowed down development.
Tungependa sasa waanze kufikiria zaidi rights ya watu na ile profit wanapata sasa, wasiende tu mahali iko na italete pesa, waende hata kwa villages zile ambaye haileti pesa. Kwa hiyo tafadhalini, na najua mko na sustainability strategy, nimeisoma, inajali wa Kenya, inajali sustainability, na sustainability ni kuwa na kusupport the community in which you make money.
Leo niko na furaha sana kwa sababu ya network ambayo tuliletewa hapa na Senator Wambua. Hapo mbeleni tulikuwa na challenge mingi sana kwa sababu hatukuwa na network. Hata wakati wa security, kama kuna watu wanaimba vitu vya wenyewe, hawezi ukawa unaripoti kwa polisi. Hata kama ni biashara, kuna biashara nyingine ambao hatukuwa tunaweza kufanya.
To some sports news now. National soccer team Harambee Stars jetted back to the country in a low-key reception after a disappointing 2-1 loss at the hand of footballing Minos Komoro. This is despite the reassurances by the coach and captain that they will get a positive result in their quest to make a back-to-back appearance at the African Cup of Nations finals. Elsewhere, South Sudan beat Uganda 1-0 at the Nyayo National Stadium in Nairobi to pick their first win of 2021 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON qualifiers.
The defeat saw lots of fans on social media calling for the resignation of the recently appointed tactician who has only managed a single point out of a possible 6. However, a defiant Ghost Mulee is adamant that it is not over yet for the team's 2022 African Cup of Nations dream. Mulee had promised to overturn tables in Moroni after an inspiring 1-1 draw in Nairobi last Wednesday. However, he now admits that the path has narrowed as the qualification is not entirely in their hands. Comoros are topping the group with 8 points, with Egypt coming in second with 5 points, as Kenya stands third with 3 points, while Togo is bottom of the table with just a single point. Elsewhere, Tito Okello scored the lone goal from a penalty shootout to give South Sudan victory and slow down Uganda's march to the AFCON. Following the victory, South Sudan remains bottom of the group, while Uganda is second with 7 points. Burkina Faso leads the group with 8 points, while Malawi is third with 4 points. Elsewhere, in Harare, defending champions Algeria gave away a 2-goal lead as were held 2-2 by the host Zimbabwe. Despite the draw, the Algerian side confirmed their place at the next African Cup of Nations final in Cameroon, which has been delayed until 2022. Sao Tome and Principe made a promising start to their must-win game against South Africa as they took the lead after 12 minutes, but eventually lost 4-2 in South Africa's city of Port Elizabeth. And finally, Cameroon, who have already qualified for the Nations Cup finals as host, maintained their unbeaten run in Group H with a 2-0 defeat in Mozambique. With us, your sport. Do have a blessed evening. I'm Joseph Maingi.
Well, that report brings us to the end of this live broadcast. Thank you so much for keeping us company. My name is Tonny Omondi, and our sign language interpreter has been Bonfas Murithi. Have a good night, and God bless.